I said, and she goes, well, I hope that you had fun creating this because it's going to fail.
I wish I could say Joseph's experience was rare, but you know better. We all have that doubt. Still, it's no fun to hear someone say out loud, cute, but it's not going anywhere. And when you do hear it, it weighs more than any compliment you could get. Illustration in your books, that looks like it's a pretty hefty investment. I mean, am I wrong in that?
No, you are absolutely correct. It is. It's a very significant investment. And you have to do it that way because you have to pay your artist.
Yeah.
You have to pay your artist upfront. You can't just say, well, I'll split the profits of the book with you 50-50 because you don't know what's going to happen or how long it's going to take. And that wouldn't be fair. So yeah, it was definitely, an investment of money, an investment of time. It took a lot of time. So not only did I write the stories, so I spent a lot of time writing the drafts, but I would share it with a few people that I would trust to get their feedback and their input. I would continue to make adjustments and revisions from there. And then I utilized a author service, Alexa Nazaro out of Montreal. And she would also offer advice and perspective and revisions. And then we'd have to get it corrected with the grammar, make sure that's all set. Oh, by the way, we also translated it to French. So
it makes sense because of the geography of it all.
Right. And so, that's one part, very much an investment of time. And while that's going on there, even with some of the revisions are ongoing, we're still working on the illustrations.
Right.
And I have to, work with Natasha very closely on that. We work together all the way through the process. And we go through that process again. We work very closely reviewing the sketches, and Natasha would add her perspective to how they would actually be developed fully into full color illustrations. And, some were very close to the original sketches, but some actually evolved totally different and unexpected directions. So it's very much a dynamic creative process. But it certainly was not me take this project and kind of throw it over the wall to Natasha and say, okay, it's yours. Let me know when you finish and we'll look at it together. It had to be a collaboration all the way through. Very early on in the process, before the books were published, I was still developing. I was very excited about the process, very excited about what we were creating. And I knew that it was good. It's going to be good. And I remember showing the cover of the book for the first book series, Old Grim Mystery Volume 1. And I showed it to a bookshop owner. And she looked at it and she asked, well, what the heck is this about? And I said, well, it takes place in the 17th century Quebec and early 20th century Quebec. And my ancestors immersed in a magical world of folktales and Native American trickster animal characters. And she says, you can't categorize that at all. I said, and she goes, well, I hope that you had fun creating this because it's going to fail. So that was the worst thing. And I'm thinking to myself, and I looked at her and I said, how can you say that when you know nothing about this book?
Hopefully people don't hate your work. Better if they just hate that they can't categorize it. If they can't put you in a box, and assume that you don't belong anywhere. That's traditional marketing for you. That kind of problem isn't a reflection of your talent. That's a reflection of their imagination. The scary part isn't that someone tells you your work will fail. The scary part is how quickly you start to believe them. One sentence from the wrong person can derail years of momentum.
But the most frustrating thing for me as a creative person is you have this, well, is good. I know it's good. But getting it out there is difficult because there's so many other choices that people have. And there's so many other books out there and products. So how do you get that word out there? And the way I've approached it is very much personal. I've visited libraries, bookstores in New England, also in Canada, and have the books, being sold. It's a slow process. I've also shared books with people. And one thing I have discovered in my favor, excuse me, is that once someone looks at the book and gets it in their hand, they love the books.
Right.
They absolutely love the books because that quality is there. It's a very entertaining story, but it's a story that you can read to your children and your grandchildren. And there are positive lessons in the story, but it's not overly preachy. It's not like hammering your head with the lessons, but they're there. So it's a good product, but it's just hard to get it out there. And that's probably what you're going to find frustrating, because you're going to have this great book, you're going to put it on Amazon, and you're going to go, no sales. It doesn't mean that what you have is bad. It just means nobody knows about it.
When someone tells you your project is pointless, you stop promoting it. You stop finishing things. You stop showing up. And that is the real financial killer. Not the market, not the competition, just the slow erosion of your confidence. What I love about Joseph's story is that he didn't fold. He didn't go home and burn the manuscript. He kept going. He kept showing up to libraries and bookstores and communities. And that's the part that people underestimate. Consistency beats approval every time.
What has been the most rewarding part about your journey for you?
It's making the connections. It's making the connections in unexpected directions. And I'll give you an example. Marie Matei Awagwe, my Algonquin ancestor, she has thousands of descendants in the United States and Canada. And so through the book and my research, I've made connections with other descendants of her, my cousins, and especially up with the Algonquin community up in Pembroke, Ontario. That's like 8-hour drive for me from up here near Boston. And I've made great connections with them, so I've met great people. I've enjoyed seeing people being delighted with the book, saying how much they've enjoyed it, what it means to them, how much they enjoyed reading it with their family. That's the most rewarding part. And I also believe that the best is yet to come with this book. I do believe that this book eventually will be either a short TV series on Apple TV, Angel TV, Netflix, something like that. Somebody's going to pick it up.
If someone told you your creative dream is going to fail, who cares? That just might mean that you're doing something they don't understand. And honestly, that's usually the first sign that you're onto something worth finishing. So good luck. And as always, this was a small part of this interview. If you would like to catch the entire interview, jump on over to the Like-Minded Arts podcast and check out the link in the description below to find out more about Joseph and what he's doing.